Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome. So, I am here today with a energy update, energy feel into, maybe a message. We'll see. Actually, this is a new energy, and I love it. It's great. It feels like a masculine energy thread, like a masculine collective, embodied masculine energy. Doesn't matter if you identify as male or female, doesn't have anything to do with gender. This is purely about energy, although this feels very embodied, meaning this is mainly for people who identify probably as male and or this is interesting. I'm kind of tripping over my own explanations here. And that I'm getting hung up on this gender, energy, identity stuff. I mean, I'm not telling anything new to you. Like when you click on this kind of video, you know what I'm talking about. So, this is already part of the message. This thing about embodying energy and what it means to be masculine, feminine, perceived as male or female or typical or non-typical, what is an adequate expression of those energies. And we are coming out of the eclipse season. We are nearing the full moon. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this, probably shortly before the full moon in Virgo and the lunar eclipse. It's happening then on the 2nd of May, I think, or 3rd, something like that. So we're coming out of this huge effort and shift. And I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And the energy that's coming through is telling me that you do too. And I love it. So, for one, I can feel that Mercury is present, which is not surprising because we are in a Mercury retrograde right now. And Mercury is, it's Virgo full moon, so Mercury is, pretty present as an archetype with like the astrology, the planetary movements that are happening right now. And he's communicating with me a lot through language, which is also not surprising. He likes to communicate with me through songs and lyrics. And this is something he did today with a song I was just listening to, and I suddenly felt this rush of energy coming in. And I've heard this song a million times, and it, like the meaning, or a certain way to look at it suddenly hit me. And this happens to me quite often, that I like songs I know very well, and then suddenly at some point, when I have a deeper understanding of something and I listen to a song that I heard, like I said, a million times, and suddenly I also understand it from a different angle or a deeper layer. So the song I'm talking about is from a German artist, called Peter Fox. And he's one of our finest songwriters also when it comes to lyrics. They are very deep, they're very poignant, and it's incredibly well written. And he is a man in his 50s now, and he was one of those who shaped the German hip-hop scene, and not just hip-hop, but also dance hall and reggae music in Germany. And many people laugh when they hear that because they cannot imagine like this kind of music with like in Germany or in German. You should check it out. It's pretty good. Anyways, why I'm talking about that. It's again, okay, so it's this bringing together of something that doesn't, like at the first glance, for many people, it doesn't really fit. Because German is perceived as a language that's pretty, like it's so structured and it's harsh, but actually there is, it can be so incredibly beautiful. And Germany was famous for their artists and poets and philosophers and thinkers, especially like up until the 19th century, or also at the beginning of the 20th century. So with the Second World War, a lot of changed, and the 1930s, of course. But so this is like an image change. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, this is already getting so much deeper than I thought it would. And I can also feel there's so much information coming through with Mercury. I really need to ground it. Okay, so there was this image change happening in the German culture with, of course, the Nazi regime and all the horrible things that took place in the Second World War. And afterwards, Germany rebuilt itself, like the country rebuilt itself pretty quickly. And it rose up again especially as a nation that is known for its like hardworking and like this rising up from the dead, but especially economically. And we became this huge economical power, and especially in Europe. And so we still have, of course, artists and poets and musicians and all of that, but they are not that, like they are not really the stereotypical German thing that people think of. They think of engineers and, of course, beer and all those things, but they don't really, like people don't really think about the beauty of our language. And it's actually a very, very beautiful language because it's so layered and it's so deep, and you can express so many very unique things. And sometimes it's really hard. And maybe you've realized that over the last few videos, I kept on struggling finding the right words sometimes in English. Because sometimes it is that I have like a German word in my head and I want to translate it, and it's actually not really possible to translate it because it's so deeply layered. And like I said, there's a reason I'm talking about that. This is speaking to a collective of masculines that are like deeply misunderstood, or they felt deeply misunderstood. And they felt like they had to put forward what is perceived as very masculine traits, like, engineering or economics, like those factual, down-to-earth, materialistic things. But actually there's like this beautiful musical soul of a poet in there, and there's not much room for this to like to come out and to show it to the world. And like I said, there are a lot of stereotypes that are put on you, or expectations that are put on you, and people don't perceive you or think of you as this, sensitive, art-loving, beauty-loving person. And of course, there's this thing of what is called toxic masculinity, that it is seen as not masculine behavior, not like that is. It's soft and it's. I'm here again. I hear a German word. Oh God, how can I translate that? I think it's impossible. It's just like this overly feminine energy, or it's called as overly feminine, but not in a good way. Like it's used to say that's ridiculous, that's just soft, this is silly, really. So all of this is speaking to me about like there are those opposing, like seemingly opposing forces that at first glance look like they don't really go together, but actually they do very well. Like for example, German and reggae music. They're not there are quite a few reggae artists from Germany, actually. And there's this, okay, so you cannot imagine this going together, but when you actually look at it and you discover like, oh yeah, this actually does go together, and it goes together really, really well. And suddenly like this whole new world is opening up for you, and you discover something really magical, something that you've not experienced before. And yeah, maybe this is like, go and check out Peter Fox, because there might be something there for you. I don't know why he's coming through so strong. But yeah, right. So he is, like I said, he's an artist in his 50s. And so he's seen a few things in his life, and also as an artist. And like he had this whole thing of, like he has a band, Seed, that he was performing with, and then he released a solo album, and then he said like, okay, that's it, I won't do another solo album. And then I don't know how many years later, I think like, I forget, 16 years later or something like that, he released another solo album, like out of nothing. It suddenly was there, and it was very well received again. And you can just like see his progression and his journey as an artist. And so the song I heard from him earlier is actually about like a man. Like he's describing this like scene of like a man standing in his bathroom, and he's looking in the mirror, and like he's like seeing all the pieces, but he's trying to like piece it back together. And the chorus is, I actually went ahead and translated it for you, and it's not literal. It's but it's pretty close to the original. I just like tweaked it a little so that it flows better. But the chorus is like this: one black eye, dirt in my mouth, love in my belly, but stress on my back. Took a hit to the cockpit. I can take that. I'm not broken, just a little messed up. Both eyes black, dirt in my mouth. Love in my belly, but stress on my back. Took a hit to the cockpit. I can take that. I'm not broken, just a little messed up. And so I feel like this is so beautiful because it's this imperfect masculine energy saying like, yeah, I took a hit. I'm standing here. I'm, like I said, he's describing himself like standing in the bathroom, looking in the mirror. He's self-medicating in that moment. He's saying like, I want to go back to my bed. And sorry, I'm just, because there's a feeling rushing in here. Whew. There is a nervousness and a slightly uncomfortable feeling of it's not easy to be seen that way as a masculine. This is very vulnerable. This is so vulnerable. And it's like there's this discomfort in being seen that way. But then there is also this this line in here with this, took a hit to the cockpit, but I can stand it. I can take that. Sorry. I can take that. It's like, yeah, I'm bruised. I'm here taking ibuprofen and having a drink in my hand. And like I said, self-medicating, and black eye. First it's one black eye, then it's two black eyes. It's like, yeah, life is like throwing me all those punches, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing here. I'm taking it. And yeah, I have those black eyes, and it's a struggle, and it's hurting, and I'm not feeling the greatest right now. But I'm still here. And this is a new side that I'm seeing in this collective. Like before that, it was a lot of suppressing, a lot of like brushing it off and just muscling through, pushing through. And or on the other side, then there was this like deep struggle and all pain and just like deep dark nothingness, the abyss. Like those were the energies the masculine was in especially over the last year, what I've been picking up on. And this is like, yeah, that's the wounded warrior. But he is in his warrior energy. And the thing is, to me, as like the feminine, this is so empowering. This bruised, vulnerable warrior, that's... When I heard this song earlier, like I felt so much love for the masculine, for this, there's all this responsibility and there's all this, like those toxic ideas forced on the masculine. And because we're talking so much about how the feminine is being repressed and like had to suffer for like all this time, and it's been domineered by the toxic masculinity and all of that, the patriarchy. And of course, all of this is true. But at the same time, the masculine has been suffering too. Like this is not serving anyone. This whole system, this whole fucked up patriarchal bullshit is serving no one. And it's not just patriarchy, it's like like the whole world out there, this we don't need to talk about. Like you know what I'm talking about. And this is serving no one. And while like there is a lot of power and self-empowerment in rage, and there has been a lot of feminine rage coming up over the last few days, especially over the last few days. And rightfully so, yes. But I also saw how this was, especially in people I met, like they were projecting it onto men in general. And I felt the hurt in that. And the unfairness within that, and not saying that like to release quote unquote men in general out of their responsibilities and to own like all the stuff that is going wrong and all the injustices and imbalances and power dynamics and all of that. Of course, that's not what I'm talking about, but it's about this turning against each other, turning against the other. And with the modern feminist movements, men, they don't have it very easy. And many will say, like, that's fine. Like, the feminines, like, women didn't have it very easy for millennia. So, here again, I can take that. Maybe that's also something that, like, the masculine is finally rising up to, like, this owning this thing of, okay, I can take that. I can see, I can value the feminine, and I can see the, like, all the hurt and the injustices and the suppression of the feminine, and I can take that. And now I'm given this image of, like, one of my mentors. She once said something, and that's like a powerful image for me. She said, you can, like, when there's critique coming, or also when there are compliments coming and you feel like, okay, it's hard to take it in, like, you don't have to take it in. You can hold it in your hand. You can look at it like a gift. And then you can decide, okay, I'm going to put that down, or, okay, I'm going to take it in. And this was just the image I was given right now. Like, it's the same thing. Like, as, let's say, like, a masculine collective, and you are, like, faced with all the hurt that, like, the collective, but also probably you as a person, like, there has a lot of hurting. There has been a lot of hurting, probably also in your life. And you, like, seeing with your, like, with walking down that path that you're going, like, this journey, it's also a path of owning mistakes, owning where I hurt others. Because we're talking about that right now, women. Or, like, generally, like, where my inner masculine hurt another feminine energy. like where have been power struggles, where there were injustices in relationships maybe. And like this rising up to like the responsibility of owning it, of taking responsibility for that. But then again, like there's this also this other side of, yeah, but being a masculine is not a piece of cake either. And like I said, like with this, like the general like modern feminist movements, there is a lot of male bashing going on. And really, like sometimes I don't want to say I feel sorry for you, but it's like I'm sympathetic. And I just want to say, like, I see the other side, and I see your pain, I see your struggles, and I also see like all the responsibility that is lying on the shoulders of, or has been lying on the shoulders of men for generations. The pressure of having to be the provider, having to protect, and there is a lot of, again, imbalances also like with the modern feminist movements. There is the masculine energy is like the embodied masculine energy, especially in men, is having a hard time to land. Like they're like, I don't know what my purpose is anymore, because women, apparently they don't need us anymore. Right? I mean, the feminine movement, it's all about like, we don't need that anymore. Like we're done with men. But yeah, so like all I want to say is there is this energy of like, for one, owning your own mistakes, but then on the other hand, also acknowledging where I have been wounded and bruised and beaten down, beaten up. And yeah, coming back to this song, by the way, I'm gonna put it into like the description, so if you want to check it out, you can do that. So in this song, there is this, like I said, the beaten warrior, but in his vulnerable state and in his messed up state, and he is recognizing this messed up state. And like I said, my inner feminine, she was not in a unhealed way of, oh, I want to make everything better for you and I want to nourish you in an unhealthy way, or an overboarding way, or like suffocating way, but it was more like, I see you and I respect that. I respect you in that state. I respect you for having the strength to acknowledge your quote unquote weakness. And this line of took a hit to the cockpit, I can take that. I don't know what that is, but it feels so powerful to me. And then the next line, I'm not broken, just a little messed up. So the German, like the original is bin nicht kaputt, nur ein bisschen defekt. It's like the meaning is slightly different. I just tweaked it a little bit because of, like I said, it sounds better this way. But it basically actually means like, yeah, I'm just a little bit broken. Like, I'm not broken. I'm just like not completely, I'm a little bit defective. But not sure why I'm going there right now. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, that was interesting. That was really beautiful. I'm probably going to cut a little bit of it out. I just like suddenly this. Okay, I started to go down this rabbit hole of mental energy, and then I realized this isn't going anywhere. And then I just stopped, and then everything fell silent, but in a peaceful way. And I heard the birds singing outside. I just felt calm. So it feels like this, after like all this struggling and all this overthinking and always having to fight, with this moment of acknowledging that I'm bruised, but at the same time not like, I'm not defeated. I'm still standing. I'm still standing here. There's suddenly like, there are all those protective layers. They're just falling off. And beneath that lies peace and calmness and love. There's love. Yeah, that's incredibly beautiful. So on that note, I think that's it. Feels complete. Yeah. So if you want to check out the song, I'm gonna put parts of the lyrics down in the description and the title, and then you can check it out. And yeah, I would love to hear from you if you'd like to share some of your insights around this. Yeah, otherwise, I wish you all the best with that. Enjoy this beautiful moment in your journey. And I would love to see you in the next video. Until then, take care.